Hey, what is happening, my fearless networking friend? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. Oh, the title of this, the fatal Facebook flaw, the fatal Facebook live flaw. I don't know what we're going to title it, but nonetheless, I do think this is critical, and it's actually a flaw that people make on Zooms and videos. It's primarily dealing with what we would consider a selfie video, okay? Or even selfie photographs. I see people do this pretty frequently. So I want, like last week, if you didn't catch last week's episode, I did a pretty detailed episode on the subject of rapport building and connecting and, you know, breaking the ice and making people feel more comfortable with you and all of that. And so if you missed that, I would encourage you to go back and review that. Actually, the last couple weeks were pretty cool. I did the week prior. I had a conversation with Chris Widener on the subject of influence. Last week, again, was on rapport building. This week is this is just a flaw that I think. I've talked about this before, but I'm sure people are going to just repeat the process over and over and over again. They're going to continue to make the same mistake, and the reason they make the mistake is because you're almost drawn to make the mistake, okay? And what is that mistake? Well, that mistake is failing to give good, solid eye contact on video, okay? So, for example, like if you're looking at me now, unless you're on my podcast and that you're catching it on audio, you will clearly notice, and I actually mentioned this as part of like my rapport building conversation last week, you will notice that I'm looking squarely in the camera lens. Like there's no person there. I'm staring into the camera lens. So the perception that creates is that I'm looking directly into your eyes. Versus, and I'll give you an example because I'm filming on a DSLR camera, not my laptop, which is down here. But let's say this lens that I'm looking at was my lens from my laptop computer, which is always in the top center of your computer, right? And let's say in this case it's on a Zoom. It could be a Zoom, it could be a Facebook Live, it could be anything, whether it's on your iPhone or your mobile device or your iPad or your laptop or your desktop. You have the camera lens up here, and then you've got this screen down here. And the screen is where you see people, like you see the people. Like, okay, I'm going to move my eyes, okay? I'm going to move my eyes really quickly. So I'm looking at you, I have eye contact with you. Now, how many times have you seen this where I'm sitting here having a conversation with you and I'm either looking at you or I'm looking at me and I'm having this chat with you, but you can clearly tell that I'm not even looking at you. I'm looking down here the whole time. And so what that does is it breaks the connection with whoever it is that you're looking to communicate with. And I'm going to tell you, it's challenging because, again, if I'm sitting here, I don't know where my iPhone is at the moment, but if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my iPhone screen, well, I'm seeing me in the video. It's a selfie video. So it would be natural for me to my eyes are drawn to me. I'm drawn to the person in the screen. But the truth is, when I'm doing that, I'm really not I'm not creating any kind of eye contact. I'm looking down. So again, here, I'm looking at you. We have good, solid eye contact. We've all heard it, and I mentioned this last week. The eyes are the windows to the soul. There's something about eye contact that's incredibly powerful, especially when it comes to trust. Like, you don't trust people that can't look at you. The ones that look everywhere but you, they don't look at you. And in fact, you've probably verbally said that. Like, I can't trust a guy or girl that won't look me square in the eyes. So same thing goes with video. If you're doing a Facebook Live, if you're creating a YouTube video. Now, what's interesting, it's easier to, in this case, because I'm looking into an actual camera lens. Like where I'm looking, there is a camera on a tripod. Okay, there is no screen. Like my laptop is down here. It's on a little riser on my desk. So I'm not using my laptop camera lens, which in that case, if I was, I would almost be pulled down to the screen. Especially on Zoom, when you're looking at 30, 40, 50, 100 people, your eyes are pulled down to the screen. And I'm not saying that you can't look down and identify certain people and say, hey, Marcella, great question. Like somebody's raising their hand, they get the little hand raise thing on Zoom, or, that you can't do that. You can definitely look down. Like in this case, I'd have to look down over here because my laptop is like literally right here, versus if I was filming on my laptop and the lens was there and I would just have to go down here. Oh, hey, John, great question. Let me address that for you. But this is something that I think if you're not really purposefully, intentionally looking into the camera lens, there's a good chance if you go back through some of your videos, you're going to see, and I've done it. I do a lot of video, and I've done it. But I catch myself because as soon as I see a video of me doing that, I'm like, I'm not even looking at the person. So it's like there's an immediate, it's like I'm talking to you, and we're having this conversation, and I'm trying to like create some kind of connection with you, but I'm staring over here. I mean, how is that any different than imagine this? You're having dinner with somebody and you're sitting with them at dinner, and the whole time they're just, they're looking around and you're talking to them. You're like, bro, are you even listening to me? Are you here? And I'm a big fan of this concept of wherever you are, be there, be present, be wherever it is that you are. So this doesn't have to be a long video today. It doesn't have to be a long episode. It's very straightforward and simple. It's hard because you have something that is naturally pulling your attention elsewhere. It just is. It's pulling your attention elsewhere. There's no little light and there's no little picture of you in the camera lens. The image of you is typically on an iPhone or mobile device or laptop or whatever is below the lens. So one thing you could do is, first of all, you can just force yourself, make yourself to look into the lens rather than looking at the images. Or you can do, one way for sure you could do it is you can do it where you have a camera and I don't have any distraction because there's just the lens. And yeah, I get it. It's a little weird to get used to that, staring into a lens as if it's a human being, but that goes with the territory. If you're going to be doing any kind of video, you got to be able to be comfortable looking directly into the lens. So anyhow, again, this all has to do with building more trust, building rapport, and creating a deeper connection with people. Because if you're trying to do something on video and you're doing it probably to build relationships, create better connections, but your eyes are down here, it's not going to be helpful. So, all right, so that's it for today. Appreciate you guys. Just a quick little tip on that. And if you're on my podcast, listen to me on audio. Thank you so much. Appreciate you YouTube folks as well. You can see the rest of the details on this episode and other things to help you succeed in network marketing right here at toddfalcone.com/episode 240. That's this episode. So TODDFALCONE.com/episode 240. We will see you next time.